Middlesex County. Founded in 1643, right outside the limits of Boston, it spans 77 towns and covers 847 square miles. It has plenty of notable features, such as the Mystic Lakes, the Fells, and many famous battle sites from the Revolutionary War that I'm sure you've all seen by now. But by far the most captivating feature of this Massachusetts region is not the size or even the locations, but the vast melting pot of cultures that it contains. And as you will soon come to see, I'm not lying about that. What may seem like an uninteresting jumble of uniform suburbs and homogeneous building designs turns out to be a region of remarkable diversity, a far cry from its colonial origins, dominated by English, Irish, and German settlers, all from Europe. If you don't believe me, just take a 10 to 20 minute drive outside the limits of Winchester, and you can end up at your nearest cultural center, such as the Hellenic Center in Woburn, or pass by and find practically any type of food around the world. And, if you're lucky, you may even come across a cultural event, festival, or fair. Some examples are the Greek festival in Woburn, which World Cultures Club actually volunteered at this summer, held every June, and the Festa de Nossa Senhora de Monte, held by the Portuguese American Club in August. In this documentary, the World Cultures Club will dive into the diverse cultures and ethnicities that bring the Middlesex community to life, exploring what it truly means to be in a certain culture and how cultures intertwine and differ from the overarching American identity. And, last but not least, what makes cultures unique from one another. To use a metaphor, Middlesex County is a school of fish. While seemingly odd, I want you to think about a coral reef. Within one school of fish exists different colors, shades, shapes, and other features of fish, all coexisting in a single being. Sure, we are truly a unique bunch of people, each with different backgrounds and stories. But at the end of the day, we all belong to the same Middlesex school that unites us in our differences. So, with that being said, let's take the first step into this amazing journey by figuring out what cultures and what people live in this amazing community we know as Middlesex County.
My family is Chinese, but we're born in the country called Myanmar.
Cultural background. I'm from Taiwan, original.
I am second generation Jamaican Panamanian, and also a Black American.
Where are you from, sir?
Born in Uganda, East Africa, raised in Kenya.
But both of my family members, well, my family members, no, both my parents are actually from Romania.
I'm Korean.
I am from both Irish, Ukrainian, and Mexican and Bolivian cultures.
Yeah. I'm Polish and
I'm Italian American, Polish American.
I'm Armenian. My mom is Armenian, comes from Syria. My dad's from Lebanon.
My mother was born in the United States. Her father's from Jamaica.
My ethnicity is South Asian.
I'm half Chinese, half French.
So, my culture, colorful, fun-loving, and quite spiritual.
Vibrant, influential,
Very passionate about their culture like to have fun, and they like to drink.
I would say they're welcoming. It's a warm place for everyone. We believe in different ways of walks of life.
Very progressive, hardworking. Like me, I came here in 1990.
I'll describe as a core values that we follow. So we believe in having kindness and compassion, not only to the people, but also to all the animals and any life, you know, any form of life, even.
Food, family, and food.
Like, I don't know, happy, smart, and nice.
And Greek are friendly, warm-hearted, and welcoming people.
They're very welcoming and warm, and there's always good and bad, but I always see the best. I think they're very, like, if you go to our country, you'll be like really overwhelmed, like how welcoming they are.
I think being Israeli for me is being proud of who I am, about my Judaism, about my Israelism, and love for the country and the state. Yeah.
I would pretty much say that it's a very close-knit community, a very family-focused. I grew up going to a lot of events that kind of brought us closer together, whether that includes like music, bazaars, what else?
Our food is some of the most unique you've ever had.
The way we like to have festivals.
Festas, yeah.
Like the festas and stuff, yes.
We have different culture, though we're all from Africa. But
One that comes to mind is kind of superficial, but going back to earlier one, I say like no one can ever guess my ethnicity.
Yeah.
I always get like, oh, are you Indian? Are you Moroccan? Are you Samoan? And it's just always really interesting for me to hear what people think. Especially, I'm originally from California, and I used to be way more tan. Yeah, I used to be way more tan than this, so I got mistaken all the time. I visited Morocco one time and actually got like mistaken as a local by locals a lot. I'm like, apparently I like Morocco to look like, so yeah.
People think there's a country called Africa. It's not such a, Africa has about 54 countries.
Yeah. The misconception is many people, they see a Greek flag and they think Yasu Alexandra, and they think it's ethnocentric. And it comes across as ethnocentric because you have a Greek church, you got the Greek language and Greek dancing and Greek festivals, but actually Greek people are very open to other people that would like to come and join the community.
It's nice to see how far the country has come. If that movie is a portrayal of like the 70s, late 70s in Jamaica, and I've been in the last 10 years 3 times.
I would sort of, on that note, I would say that America sort of and Israel have a similarity in the sense that they're both melting pots of cultures. Because I mean, people sort of have a perception that Israelis are all alike, but I mean, looking at me and Roy, we certainly don't even look at like each other.
Well, something about most Italian cooking in the U.S. Usually it has meat. Usually you'll eat lasagna, it has meat in it, but traditionally it wouldn't have that.
It's because like we are highly mistaken thinking like we're Indians or Pakistan because we're a small country beside India. Definitely our culture and our practices like parallelly same or sometimes like we speak Bengali. There is a part of India they also speak Bengali. There is a lot of Islam practicing people around the country, so there is a lot of confusion might happen.
I think that there actually aren't a lot of people who associate blackness with Panama, and so I feel like maybe it would be really cool for people to actually know more about the black experience of that country.
Well, when people hear Myanmar, they mostly think of like the civil war going on there, the longest running civil war in the history of the world, actually. But I want people to know that like we're more than just like conflict. We are a culture of like I said, really resilient people.
Yeah.
So basically, India is a very diverse country. Even I don't know my country that well because it's so diverse.
Hakuna Matata. That's what people say. People think there's a language called Hakuna Matata. It's just in the movies. Like King of Zamunda. There's no country called Zamunda.
I would say that the biggest difference is probably that American culture is so much more individualistic.
I feel like in a lot of, especially in like here in America, a lot of people get really closely knit to the family that they consider very immediate.
Like we are not, how does that? We are not individualism.
Oh,
we are
more
like
of a
more
community,
like a group,
right?
Yes.
The biggest difference is I think people in Portugal are united more, closer. There's not that much like hatred.
We have a big community that's immediately our family.
There's always going to be hatred, like I don't like him, but it's more unity, if that makes any sense.
I think in other cultures, there's a larger focus on the extended family, and I'd like to spend more time with my extended family.
But I would also say that like Burmese culture is also a lot more like resilient. They're very like strong-headed, and Chinese culture is a lot more like calm, a little bit indirect in a way.
And we like rice, a lot.
There's a huge multicultural thing. Bangladesh is also practicing lots of Western cultures. I believe like maybe some of social norms are different. Like simple things like we don't allow people to wear shoes in our houses, but versus American, it doesn't matter. They wear shoes. Like little things, not a huge thing.
In Israel, military service is something mandatory. I think it's something very different in America and Israel.
For me, American culture is largely influenced by Italian culture because I live in an area that's very Italian-American, so a lot of the shops, you got Italian cookie shops. Jersey's big on Italian cooking, Polish cooking. I'm also Jewish, so Jewish food is very big.
Which probably in India, if you visit India, they're more open to culture.
It was very difficult. First of all, because of the language and different like traditions.
Yeah, so definitely a culture shock because of the language barrier. The culture difference, in terms of food, sense of humor.
My daughter faces more challenges because of her difference in view as taking care of ants. We believe in not killing any living being as such. So for her, when her friends kill ants or any other bug, it really affects her.
Get a bowl.
My parents value education deeply. They think education is very important in climbing social classes, I guess. So they want to see me do well in school academically, and they really try to focus on that.
One big value, and I think this goes for many immigrants, is hard work, because it's very hard to immigrate into a new country and make a good living there. So that's one value that I hold in high regard. Another value that was taught to me was to value art. Art, sometimes as immigrants we might overlook art as maybe, not the highest paying jobs, but art is the expression of the human soul, and it's very important to recognize it as that.
I would say resilience because as my parents have taught me and passed down through their families and parents that you have to be hardworking to like get to where you want to be.
I feel like parents from those cultures are stricter. Like usually parents from any immigrant cultures tend to be a bit stricter than any other parents. So on my dad's side, like my dad's like mom was an immigrant from the United States, whereas on my mom's side, like my mom's ancestors, like it was a while back, generations, when they were immigrants. So like my dad probably has like higher like parenting standards, I guess.
Like family's really important. So we have like parent days and like children days in Korea. So it's like they really value that kind of like parent and child relationship a lot. So even like as you get older, it's really emphasized to take care of your parents and
just a lot of hospitality and like kindness, definitely. If many Italian households, you'll go there and they'll just be giving you food, unlocked food, and it's like just a lot of kindness, I guess.
My household, at least, there's a lot of Romanian influences. Like I own like a really big Romanian flag. I speak Romanian or Romanești. I cannot pronounce it correctly, but that's how you say it. Romanian and Romanian, basically. It's very nice. We have some traditional foods that my parents like to make. One of them is called mamaliga. It's basically polenta. I don't really like it. My dad loves it for some reason. Like he eats like a whole per day. It's crazy. And he's like 150 pounds. It's crazy. It's insane. But yeah, without those cultural influences, I wouldn't be who I am today. And I think it gives a bit of flavor to my life. And I think I would have been a worse person without it because it made me more like interested in European cultures, other cultures, more open to ideas and etc. and all of that stuff.
Well, I play a traditional Korean instrument, so that helps me like connect with my culture, I guess.
It's a lot of soccer, coffee and espresso, and gaucho, which is soccer.
I like the foods that they eat, and I like the clothing that they and like their music.
Well, I often like visit my dad's family in like other countries like Mexico, and then I also have family in Bolivia and Spain, which I've been to one time each. And then for my mom, I don't really get to connect with any of my Irish and Ukrainian culture because I don't currently have any family living in Ireland and Ukraine.
I interact with it like daily. It plays many roles in my life. And I think South Asian culture, along with American culture, blend together and they play a very paramount role in my life.
All right. Thank you so much for your time.
Of course.
I think my family was actually already kind of pretty Americanized while I was growing up.
It's been something that I am sad about, I guess. Not specifically that I don't really have much connection with my culture, but just in general that I don't have a culture to connect with. Feels like an empty part of life that could have been really cool, just getting to witness other people, getting to express their culture.
It's very important to connect to your cultural roots because it's traditions, it's language, it's family history, it's background, and you're kind of passing that on to the next generation, and it helps keep that identity within your culture, and if you don't keep that, it kind of gets lost.